Much has been produced by the saints, sages and scriptures about celibacy and brahmacharya, which helps us enormously, while practicing semen retention. On semen retention one can have wet dreams and still continue with the process. But if one wants to practice it at an extreme level to further access the divine powers, then one opts for brahmacharya. Brahmacharya literally means achara or conduct that leads to the realization of Brahman or one's own self. In brahmacharya wet dreams count as a relapse. One needs to cleanse the body physically as well as on astral neural level. There should be complete abstinence of sexual indulgence on the outer realm and the inner self, the pure consciousness. Wet dreams is a sign which indicates that there is still desires, fantasy or sexual experiences stuck onto our subconscious mind. One needs to be patient and determined on the process of mental cleansing. With one's will the practitioner will surely get a control over his subconscious mind and get rid of wet dreams forever. It is possible, but one has to completely believe in himself in the process. Anyone who achieves zero nocturnal emissions is bound to have godlike control over the materialistic world and the spiritual world. This type of practice, the practice of brahmacharya, was aspired by an Indian man and was making tremendous progress. He is also known as the father of nation, Bapu, and Mahatma meaning great soul, Gandhi in India. His full name is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He is often related with morality, self-abnegation, ethics, piety and self-control. Gandhi straightforwardly talked around issues of sexuality to his adherents and gave them counsel on how to conduct themselves in both open as well as private. Gandhi got hitched at the age of 13. He took a promise of celibacy at the age of 38, after fathering 4 children. A major figure which contributed to Gandhi's demeanor towards sex and sexuality was an occurrence early in his hitched life. He was having sexual intercourse with his spouse when his father passed away the next room. He was burdened with guilt that he was not there for his father, and this blame proceeded to weigh on him intensely. He pondered a lot on the issue of sexuality and self-control, and was heavily inspired by Jain seer Raichan Bai and Russian writer Leo Tolstoy, who was a celibate in his later life. Finally, he developed his own thesis of sexuality, celibacy and abstinence based on Victorian Puritanism and morality. His teachings on brahmacharya is of great importance and helped me personally to overcome my addiction and understanding of the male nature. Let us incorporate some of his wisdom through his writings. According to Gandhi, one who has burned away the sexual desire in its entirety may be said to have attained control over his sexual organ. The absence of seminal discharges is a straightforward result of brahmacharya, but it is not all. There is something very striking about a full-fledged brahmachari. His speech, his thought, and his actions all bespeak possession of vital force. Such a brahmachari does not flee from the company of women. He may not hanker after it, nor may he avoid it even when it means rendering of necessary services. For him the distinction between man and women almost disappears. Man must understand that woman is his companion and helpmate in life and not a means of satisfying carnage desire. There must be a clear perception that the purpose of human creation was wholly different from that of the satisfaction of animal ones. Gandhi gave several rules for the conservation of the vital force. Let us see what he has to say. 1. Sexual desire has its roots in one's thought. Therefore, complete control over thought is necessary. The way to achieve it is this. Never let your mind remain idle, keep it filled with good and useful ideas. In other words, keep thinking of whatever duty you have on hand. There need be no worry about it, but think out how you can become an expert in your department and then put your thoughts into action. There should be no waste of thought. Japa, repetition of God's name, is a great support when idle thoughts haunt you. Contemplate God in the form you have pictured him. Unless you know him as formless while japa is going on, no other thought should be allowed to enter one's mind. This is the ideal state. If one cannot reach it and all sorts of uninvited thoughts invade one's mind, one should not become disheartened. Namajapa should be continued faithfully and in the confidence that ultimate victory is bound to follow. 2. As with our thoughts, so with our reading and talking. These should be healthy and clean. Erotica literature should be avoided. Idle, indecent talk leads to indecent action. It is obvious that one who does not wish to feed his animal passions will avoid occupations which tend to induce them. 3. Like the mind, the body must also be kept well and usefully occupied, so that the fatigue of the day may lead to refreshing, dreamless sleep. As far as possible, work should be in the open. Those who for some reason or the other cannot undertake physical labor should make it a point to take regular exercise. In my opinion, A brisk walk in the open is the best form of exercise. During the walk, the mouth should be closed and breathing should be done through the nose. Sitting or walking, the body must be held erect. To sit or stand otherwise is a sign of laziness, and laziness is the enemy of self-restraint. Yogic exercises, asanas, are also useful. This much I can say from my personal experience, that one who keeps his hands and feet, eyes and ears, healthily occupied does not have much difficulty in controlling the animal appetite. Everyone can test this for himself. 4. A Sanskrit text says that a man becomes what he eats. A glutton who exercises no restraint in eating is a slave to his animal passions. One who has not been able to control his palate will never be able to control the other senses. If this is true, it is clear that one should take just enough food for the requirements of the body and no more. The diet should be healthy and well balanced. The body was never meant to be treated as a refuse bin holding the foods that the palate demands. Food is meant to sustain the body. His body has been given to man as a means of self-realization. Self-realization means realization of God. A person who has made this realization the object of his or her life will never become a slave to the animal passion. 5. Man should look upon every woman as his mother, sister, or daughter. No one ever entertains impure thoughts with regard to his mother, sister, or daughter. Similarly, woman should look upon every man as her father, brother, or son. These were some of the rules mentioned in the book A Guide to Health, written by M.K. Gandhi. Watch this video every time you feel an urge to relapse. It'll help you stay on the path. This book will be available on this channel for the ones who wants to further incorporate some of the precious knowledge about health and the ways to maintain it. These rules mentioned in the video helped me retain and transmute my life force without any wet dreams, and I hope it helps my viewers too. Peace be upon us all.